Chiefs Kingdom. Stop scrolling right now. Arrowhead just erupted with breaking news, and one massive number is already shaking the entire AFC West. $3.5 million. A key defensive timeline just shifted. A former fan favorite suffered a devastating setback in his new uniform, and a blockbuster trade rumor is sending shockwaves straight through Kansas City. Insiders drop rumors every single week, but here is your first real payment right off the bat. Top executive Brett Veach officially confirmed that rookie cornerback Mansour Delane is only 7 to 8 days away from full contact clearance. If you bleed red and gold more than you hate the Raiders, hit like and subscribe right now. We start with the heartbreaking reality surrounding a former champion that everyone in Kansas City is talking about. Stay locked, because the double cliffhanger at the end changes everything. Whispers turned into footsteps, and the heartbreak hit Kansas City when the update finally went public. The name every fan is whispering about today? Isaiah Pacheco. When the tough, high-energy running back packed his bags and left the Kansas City Chiefs this past offseason, nobody held a grudge. The writing was on the wall after a brutal stretch of physical wear and tear. It was crystal clear inside the facility that he was no longer suited for the heavy workload of a primary RB1 in this offense, making the split necessary for both sides. When he inked a deal with the Detroit Lions, it felt like the perfect fresh start. He did not need to carry the entire offense on his back in the Motor City because Jahmyr Gibbs already owned that backfield. Pacheco was positioned to learn under offensive mastermind Dan Campbell and revive his explosive career without carrying the heavy burden alone. Unfortunately, the injury nightmare that derailed his final stretch in Kansas City appears to have followed him directly to Michigan. According to insider Adam Schefter, Pacheco suffered a sprained MCL during training camp practice. While the official medical update offers a bit of relief, confirming he should be ready for Week 1 of the regular season, the recurring pattern is deeply concerning for anyone who followed his trajectory. Football is a violent sport where injuries are inevitable, but Pacheco has taken an exceptionally brutal beating over the last 3 years. He missed 2 critical games back in 2023 due to a shoulder injury, missed 8 games in 2024 with a concussion and broken ribs, and was sidelined for 4 full games in 2025 because of a knee sprain. The fact that his latest training camp setback is yet another MCL sprain raises massive red flags for Detroit and serves as a sobering reminder for Chiefs Kingdom. When you analyze his violent running style, pounding the turf with extreme force on every single touch, his body simply absorbs punishment at a rate that high-level training staffs struggle to mitigate over long 16-game grinding schedules. The human knee can only sustain so many sprains before a player loses that signature 0 to 60 explosion out of the backfield. Meanwhile, general manager Brett Veach did not sit on his hands when Pacheco departed. Kansas City made a massive splash by signing Kenneth Walker, who is fresh off winning Super Bowl MVP honors. Walker brings an explosive dynamic to Andy Reid's offense, giving Mahomes a Tier 1 weapon that neither Pacheco nor Kareem Hunt could consistently provide during their recent stretches. Walker changes how opposing coordinators prepare for this backfield, forcing defenses to stack the box or risk getting gashed on early downs with dynamic zone cut options. From an offensive schematic standpoint, Walker's patience behind intermediate blocking schemes allows Andy Reid to reopen deep play-action passing concepts that were virtually non-existent when defenses stacked 8 defenders close to the line. That additional dimension forces free safeties to play 10 yards deeper, opening up vast intermediate space across the middle of the field. Yet, despite Walker wearing the red and gold now, Chiefs fans still hold deep affection for Pacheco. He was an emotional spark plug for the 2-time championship runs in 2022 and 2023, leaving everything on the turf every single time he touched the ball. His relentless energy transformed quiet games into loud, high-octane victories that defined an era of Kansas City dominance. Do you think Kenneth Walker will outperform Pacheco's peak years in Kansas City this season? Drop your prediction in the comments below. If you agree that Brett Veach made the absolute right call upgrading the backfield, smash that like button right now and show the league how dominant this new offense will be. But as emotional as Pacheco's story is, our second update hits much closer to home because a key piece of the Chiefs' future defense is fighting through his own crucial timeline right now. Scouts called his game calculated violence, and the front office proved how much they loved his potential by turning him into the 6th overall pick in the entire 2026 NFL Draft. The identity everyone in Kansas City is asking about? Mansour Delane? And the defensive backfield is counting on him. Expectation levels could not be higher for the rookie cornerback, who was brought in to immediately step up as a primary leader in a young, revamped Kansas City secondary. However, tension has been building throughout training camp because Delane has been restricted to a bright yellow non-contact jersey. While he finally put pads on recently, he still has not been cleared for full contact drills or live tackling. With veterans Christian Fulton and L'Jarius Sneed both dealing with their own nagging injury setbacks, anxiety began spreading among fans regarding the stability of Steve Spagnuolo's secondary. General Manager Brett Veach finally stepped up to provide total transparency during an interview on Sirius XM radio. Veach revealed that Delane actually suffered a shoulder blade injury near the end of OTAs back in June. Defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo clarified that this was specifically a shoulder blade issue rather than a standard joint sprain, which explains why the medical staff has been extremely cautious with his recovery process. The bone structure required maximum rest to guarantee no microfractures or re-aggravations occurred during high-impact collision drills. Medical experts emphasize that a premature return on a shoulder blade stress response can turn a minor 2-week issue into a recurring career-long structural vulnerability. The encouraging news for Chiefs Kingdom is that Delane has not been completely sidelined. He has been taking every single snap in 7-on-7 passing drills, ensuring he stays mentally sharp and fully aligned with Spagnuolo's complex defensive coverage schemes. In Spagnuolo's playbook, cornerbacks are required to make split-second pre-snap reads and communicate disguise coverage calls with the safety group. By participating fully in these 7-on-7 reps, Delane has mastered the verbal adjustments and mental execution without physically jeopardizing his healing shoulder. Veach explicitly stated that there are zero physical limitations regarding his movement, and the team expects to give him the full green light for complete contact within the next 7 to 8 days. That timeline puts Delane right on track to gear up for the regular season without missing critical developmental milestones or preseason warm-ups. Getting those padded contact reps prior to week 1 allows his upper body to reacclimate to absorbing physical blocks from tight ends and laying open field tackles on boundary receivers. Alongside fellow rookie defensive back Noel Williams, Delane is positioned as a massive X-factor for this entire roster. His length, ball skills, and ability to erase top perimeter receivers will determine whether Kansas City maintains an elite pass defense or suffers early growing pains against aggressive passing attacks. If Delane adjusts quickly to NFL game speed, Spagnuolo can unleash his signature aggressive blitz packages without fear of leaving his secondary exposed on third and long situations. When you have a shutdown corner who can lock down one whole side of the field in single coverage, it frees up safeties to drop into intermediate passing lanes or blitz off the edge untouched. How many interceptions do you project Mansour Delane will catch in his rookie year? Let me know your exact number down in the comments. If you trust Spagnuolo to turn this secondary into a lockdown unit, hit that like button right now to support the young core. But while our secondary prepares for full contact clearance, a massive rumor just surfaced that could add a generational anchor to the defensive line alongside Chris Jones. A move that could alter the entire landscape of the AFC North and West suddenly hit the headlines, and the rumor wire is burning up fast. According to managing editor David Latham, two-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Vita Vea has officially requested a trade from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Kansas City has emerged as one of the absolute top trade destinations. Vea has been one of the most physically dominant interior linemen in football ever since being drafted in the first round back in 2018. Last season alone, the 31-year-old monster started all 17 games while racking up 4.5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, and 13 quarterback hits, earning a stellar 72.8 PFF rating. After contract extension negotiations stalled out in Tampa Bay this offseason, Vea formally asked for a way out. While Tampa Bay has not officially guaranteed a move, front offices across the league are making calls, and Kansas City makes terrifying amounts of sense. Defensive leader Chris Jones is still a force, but he is entering a stage of his career where heavy snap counts take a toll, especially coming off a season where his interior pressure numbers dipped slightly. Adding Vita Vea next to Chris Jones and recent first-round pick Peter Woods would instantly create the most destructive interior defensive line in modern football history. Imagine trying to design a blocking scheme against two 300-pound monsters who both command double teams on every single snap. Opposing offensive coordinators would be forced to allocate 4 offensive linemen just to control the interior pocket, leaving pass rushers completely isolated on single blocks off the edge. That level of interior penetration forces opposing quarterbacks to flush outside into the arms of waiting edge rushers, turning normal dropbacks into chaotic scrambles. With Patrick Mahomes returning from a torn ACL and working with a wide receiver room that still carries several lingering questions, the Chiefs' defense will need to carry a massive burden early in the year. A tandem of Vea and Jones clogging running lanes and collapsing pockets from the inside would completely paralyze opposing quarterbacks in the AFC. Short-term, it gives Kansas City an impenetrable wall. Long-term, Vea provides the ideal bridge to mentor Woods into the next dominant interior force. Furthermore, having Vea take away intermediate running lanes allows linebackers Nick Bolton and Leo Chenal to flow freely to the ball without having to shed heavy interior offensive linemen. Controlling the line of scrimmage on early downs turns second and short situations into second and long nightmares for opposing play callers. The salary cap math would require restructuring a couple of veteran contracts. But Brett Veach has proven time and again that he can pull off financial miracles when a championship window is wide open. Do you think Brett Veach should trade a future second-round pick to pull off this blockbuster deal for Vita Vea? Drop your thoughts below and tell me if this defense becomes #1 in the NFL with Vea on board. Hit like right now if you want to see Vita Vea wearing red and gold this season, but stay right where you are because everything we just discussed leads into an epic conclusion with a double cliffhanger you cannot afford to miss. 3 massive stories, 1 defining moment for Chiefs Kingdom. The heartbreak surrounding Isaiah Pacheco reminds us how fragile running back careers can be. But Kenneth Walker gives this offense elite explosive firepower. Mansour Delane getting cleared in 7 days stabilizes a young secondary, while a potential blockbuster trade for Vita Vea could build the most feared interior defense in the entire league. Kansas City is not resting on past glory. Brett Veach is aggressively building another championship dynasty. If Delane locks down his side of the field and Veach pulls off the trigger on the defensive line, the AFC West race is over before it even starts. The Chargers are retooling, the Broncos are struggling for identity, and the Raiders cannot match this depth. Here is what I need from Chiefs Kingdom right now. First, smash that like button if you believe Kansas City is heading back to the Super Bowl. Second, leave a comment with your exact record prediction for the division games this year. Third, hit subscribe immediately because every new subscriber makes Raiders and Broncos fans lose their minds, and we are covering every single roster move live. But listen closely because here is the double cliffhanger that has the league on high alert. Sources close to the organization indicate that a major contract restructure is currently being finalized behind closed doors in Kansas City, freeing up immediate cap space for a secret move that could be announced within 48 hours. Meanwhile, a division rival in the AFC West just opened preliminary talks with Tampa Bay to hijack the Vita Vea trade before Veach can finalize the offer. Which front office strikes first, and who is restructuring in Kansas City? Subscribe now, stay locked, and let us dominate the NFL together. See you in the next breakdown.